Perfect. And a 1 and a 2. Guys, we're here doing oral sessions. I've got none other than Ricky Starks joining me. You look so fancy and so cool in this like brick backdrop. What's happening?
I had a lot of options to choose from, but the brick, I feel like the brick it kind of represents me in a way, you know?
Well, it's like edgy, but also like we know that it's chic and we know that it's like fashion forward, but
See,
it has a little grit.
that's what I'm saying. I feel like I've known each other for years now.
Yeah.
You get me off the bat.
I get you. I see you. I recognize everything. I would also just like to point out that before we were recording, you pointed out that my wallpaper looks like the Prince Purple Rain album. So now when I
Yeah.
add that up here, that's going to be my nod to Ricky Starks.
And every time I see it, I say, hey, I don't know if you guys knew this story, but that's a bit of me there.
Yeah, it's a nod to you. You've had a heavy hand in the decor of my backdrop for oral sessions. What is going on at DDP Yoga? What are you doing there?
Well,
Are you in Austin? Aren't they in Atlanta? Where are they? Where
so
are you?
I went to Atlanta because I
Okay.
had to film some vignettes, right?
Got it.
So I came here. I just finished up yoga, actually. Great stuff. Really great. Oh, I can't tell you the feeling of standing there shaking while you're trying to hold yourself up on a push-up and then lowering yourself for 10 seconds. Yeah, it was awesome. 600 calories.
It is no joke when you see the way that DDP transforms people. I mean, you're a man that's in shape. I don't know what your injury level is or whatever, but when you see people that have been through the gauntlet and their bodies are destroyed or they're like reshaping their bodies, like DDP knows what the is up.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I met a guy here who told me he was like 500 pounds and homie's like 220 right now. And he was just telling me like his weight loss journey. And I was like, that's insane to think about. And he was crazy. I'm telling you, he was there doing every movement. He was, honestly, we were all there sweating our asses off, but it was just great.
Hot yoga?
Yes, they do not turn the air conditioner on.
The best.
At all. You like that?
I love it. I love it. So I can't do it right now because I'm pregnant. So I can't do hot yoga, but I've been doing prenatal yoga throughout my pregnancy and it saved my life. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, it's like slower and you like modify certain things because like my back will hurt or my hips hurt. And like, it's weird because it's like you just have this giant gut that you just let hang out.
Right.
And you just kind of like lean into it and like just let it out, but then like suck it back in. It's weird, but it does make a big difference.
Wow. Yeah. I never knew that for that.
Yeah, it's great. I was also talking to the actor Paul Walter Hauser because he's been training with DDP to get in shape for a movie that he's working on.
I met him actually.
Isn't he such a cool dude?
Really, really nice. Really nice guy.
Wrestling fan.
Yeah, I didn't believe it at first, but he came up to me. Well, let me rephrase that. I went up to him because I was curious about him. He had such an aura, and I was like, "Hey, man, I feel like I know you. I feel like I've seen you before." Yeah, we sat down and we had a great talk over some White Claws, and it's just a great up and down.
Yeah, he's the best. We're gonna have him on the show at some point, but yeah, he's a hell of a dude, hell of a character, hell of a wrestling fan. Okay, so you're in Atlanta right now, but you live in Austin, but you are from New Orleans. Were you raised in New Orleans?
Yeah, so I was raised in New Orleans, grew up there, born there, became a wrestling fan there in New Orleans, and then we actually moved to Vegas.
Oh, right, that's right. You are a Vegas guy.
I'm everywhere. It's ridiculous.
We're the same. Me and you are the same, dude.
So I moved to Vegas, lived in New Orleans, moved to Vegas after Katrina. And we actually lived up in the Centennial area.
Okay.
You know, I'm sure you know where that's at.
Yeah.
And I stayed there for about, I want to say 5 years and then moved to Austin.
Okay.
Because my mom's a nurse. My sister's a pediatrics nurse. My mom's an RN. She's retired now. So the issue with Vegas is that in the summertime, you don't get a lot of work as a nurse. So you're, there's a period where you struggle a bit and then it picks up after that. Right. So she got tired of that. We moved to Vegas or we moved to Austin. And then honestly, I just stayed here since then. I have not moved.
Austin's amazing because at one point, so John moved out to Vegas maybe like 6 months before we started dating. I don't know what kind of lifestyle he thought he was going to be having, but I interfered. Like, listen, I'm sure you signed up for this for a hell of a party, but we should be together forever. But we almost did Austin. We were tossing it up between Las Vegas and Austin because Austin, I mean, obviously Austin's such a great city. There's
Yeah.
so much to offer there. It's amazing.
What made you decide to go to, what changed you from Austin?
So because John had already lived here, I was living in New York, and I was like, I'll just come to where you are. But we had like a house that we loved there and everything. And like we did TV there, and I went and like checked out the house, and I was like, maybe this is what we're gonna do. But I think what really threw things for a whirl was the traffic. And every time you're there, I mean, this has got to be annoying for people that actually live there, but how many people move to Austin every year where it's just like so overpopulated?
It's honestly, it's changed so much from when I moved here, when I moved to Austin in 2008. There's a lot more condos, and it's kind of, the city has kind of lost its like its appeal a little bit. Like it's, it's little je ne sais quoi about it. Yeah. And the traffic sucks too. It's terrible.
Sucks.
So I don't know. To me, I can't think of anywhere else I would like to live. I have an issue with Vegas because I grew up there young and there wasn't anything for me to do, so I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But my family's there still, so
you just really added to my argument with John, where I was like, "There's nothing for kids to do here." Nothing. So Ricky Stark, signed, sealed, delivered. He's on my team. Booyaka.
Great. I get to Wednesday and I'm gonna hear the end of it.
Yeah, get ready. Hope you like a death match, my friend. What was it like being in New Orleans during Katrina?
It was insane, actually. My sister was pregnant at the time. And so I remember she had just had her baby shower. The storm hit. We had moved to, me and my mom and my brother, we drove up to Vegas. I want to say a few days before the storm like crashed in. Unfortunately, though, since she had her baby shower, she lost all of that. And then we got to Vegas. We got to Vegas, and it was really nice. They set up a whole, like a big warehouse where you can go in and get different items for the baby, diapers. So she was never, she was never without at the time. But I just remember her husband drove back to grab all the stuff that he could, and he came back in a U-Haul and nothing but trash bags, and he opened it up, and the stench of just mildew, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Seeing what they can salvage, it was just like burned into my brain.
Yeah.
And then having to go to school during that time period, a lot of kids were making fun of the people that were having interviews on TV and them crying for help. It was a very strange period for me.
People were making fun of that?
Yeah.
Oh my
God. I remember being in class, they played it over the intercom of the interviews of people who were, stuck on their house or things like that. And just kids laughing. And so most of the time, like during lunch, I wouldn't go and sit at the cafeteria. I would always be in the library, or I would sit in the bathroom by myself, because I just, I was in such a space of like, dude, my whole life is turned upside down in that sense,
Yeah. I mean, that's kids being kids, and we know the way that happens, but like, man, so you guys just lost everything.
Yeah. Essentially everything was pretty much just wiped out clean. And, it was more of a rebuilding stage at that point. Luckily for so my mom and my brother, we had our stuff, we had our belongings for the most part. Right. But there's some stuff that we lost that was irreplaceable.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, Katrina is a very, I wouldn't say touchy subject for me, but it's a very weird subject, because sometimes it elicits feelings that I kind of just had subdued a bit in a positive way. But it just very, very bizarre time. And to think about it, like that happened and we live here. That's crazy.
Nuts. What was that like for your mom to rebuild her whole life like that? Like, that's got to be really hard to watch your mom go through that. And obviously you're going through it, but like watching her try to land on her feet again.
My mom's a very strong person. So I have a very small family. It's me, my mom, my brother, my sister, and my niece. So I never knew my father or anything. So she spent a lot of her life taking care of 3 kids and, managing a household that way. And so for her, to me, it seemed like it was just another thing that she had to do that she was used to already. She jumped right into the work field, was working as a nurse, was picking up like extra stuff like per diem shifts.
Yeah.
But she was just keeping it going. And I can't even thank my mom for the stuff that she's done for me and sacrificed. That's why I have a goal of like buying her a house.
Yes.
You know, that's up there for me to do because she's done so much.
Mm-hmm. Moms get done. Like
Right.
it's really crazy. Like I mean, I was raised by my mom. I mean, my dad was in the picture, but I didn't see him quite as much as, I mean, I spent most of the time with my mom and watching her like have different jobs, and she was always working. Like we never went without. Like we would have never known if there was, like, we would go out to dinner and like she would take us out, like, do you guys want to go stay in a hotel for the weekend? And we're like, that sounds great. I'm sure there was some other weird going on that we just didn't know about because we were kids. But like
Right.
you get like moms just like they protect you, and they work so hard to just to provide this life for you to live, to not be affected by anything. It's
It's
amazing.
so weird. Yeah. It's not weird in that sense, but it's so crazy because I remember I turned 15 or 16 and I was like getting into fights with her for no reason.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what they were. And I remember one day she left and I found an old photo album. And I was just going through it and like looking at, you know, just having that type of introspective like feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a light bulb went off and she came into the house and I started crying. I just apologized to her.
Oh
I just apologized. And this was the first time I ever saw my mom cry. I saw her like really, really cry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So from that point on, it changed my whole perception of a parent's status in a child's life, to the point where I was like, dude, this person literally gave up everything just to make sure these other three kids can be good in life. We never, just like you said, we were never without. We went to Disney. It was great.
And you never even think sometimes like this is something that would pop in my head when I would fight with my mom, or like sort of the like reflection moment afterward is like, you're just a person also doing all of these things for the first time. Like you don't know. They don't know what they're doing all the time. Like it could be right, it could be wrong. It's like, I don't know. They don't always have the answers, but like to not be forgiving of that, or like not keep that in mind, which is hard when you're a kid, obviously, but
Right. Yeah, that is the way you put it is really, really profound, just because I think about things like that in that way. Like I'm a very self-aware person. So yeah, I never put it that way. I just remember this like boom. Why are you even why? That's your
why are you being a
yeah, exactly.
To be a I mean, it's, you know, that's being a teenager. I think back to like fights my mom and I would have, and it's like, oh my God, like her and I are so similar that when we butt heads, it is like hell is broken loose. But then like 20 minutes later, we're like, let's go grab lunch. It's fine, whatever. Like we're over it 2 seconds later. But who did you have a father figure or anyone in your life that kind of stepped in that spot?
No, not really. I had a grandparent. So my mom used to send me to this lady. She had a babysitting, like a babysitting job, but it was in her house. And so that shut down. But I stayed close to that family. Her name was Gail and Norman, and they were probably the closest I had to having real grandparents, and Norman being a father figure. But you know, outside of that, I really didn't have a father figure. Which, I mean, it's not a big deal to me. I make a joke.
It seems like you turned out just fine, so you're good. It's fine.
I make the joke though that like a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're very feminine." It's like, well, yeah, fool. Like I grew up with just a mom. What do you think is going to happen?
Totally. You know what's funny is I always find it interesting when like, especially when you're like an adult. We're adults. We're in our 30s. And when you hear people that are still like struggling with like dealing with how they were raised, or being, you know, like if I didn't have a father figure and I got lost and I didn't know what I was doing, like, of course that can happen. But it's like at the same point, you become an adult and you kind of navigate your own path, and you can't always just rely or like kind of lean on, oh, I had a hard childhood, or I went through some shit. It's like, grow up. We've got to move on here, you know?
You figure it out eventually, and then just grow from there. I look back on my childhood and I don't think I had a bad childhood at all. Like
sounds
at
like
all.
You guys did great.
Yeah, it was not an issue at all. I unfortunately, me and Eddie have a joke where he will say something to me like, "Oh, you don't know how to throw a football, or you don't know how to tie a tie," and I always go, "Eddie, I grew up without a father, man." So now Eddie beats me to the punch, but if you're not in on the joke, it sounds so awkward to the point where, oh God, these two are.
All you can do is laugh at stuff like that and be able to like make a joke and turn it into a different spin.
Right.
When did your love of wrestling start?
Well, 5. I was 5 years old. And I know that because my brother at the time was a big wrestling fan. And
he's older than you?
Yeah. My brother. So I'm the youngest. My sister's the oldest. My brother's the middle child. And then there's me. So me and my sister are similar in personalities. My brother's very shy and quiet. But yeah, he introduced me to wrestling at 5. And then it just kept on. And I remember being like 8 or 9. I told my mom, I said, when I grow up, I'm gonna be a wrestler. And I'm gonna have like a bunch of kids and you're gonna have to watch them. That's how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And so I stuck to half of that promise.
There's still time. There's still time for the rest. I
Yeah.
assure you.
I think I just want 2 kids, not a bunch. But
well, I mean, I feel like now being pregnant, waiting, like I'm like, okay, I've got this baby. I mean, I'm going more against the clock because I am a geriatric at this point, according to the health services. But yeah, it's like, okay, how many babies can I crank out here in a small window? Give me twins. Give me twins for the next round so I can shut it down.
Yeah, just be done. But yeah, I am in the same vein of doing wrestling and wanting to make sure that I can provide for my family and my future kids. And so obviously the love of that started at a very early age for me, and it's kind of just progressed. I've never did sports. I never watched anything else. I just watched wrestling.
It's funny to me, like just doing like my research, kind of getting ready for this interview, but you have been so singularly focused on just wrestling.
Yeah.
That seems like, to me, it seems like that has to be a recipe for success, in the sense of like not having your hand in other things. Like you were making this work no matter what.
I had no choice. I have no choice but to make it work, because it's really the only thing that I've known, in a sense. And honestly, the only thing I've ever really loved outside of my family. This is like, when I tell you I'm a Pisces, so I'm a very emotional person, and I wear it right here. I get so hyped and emotional over wrestling because that has been the focus point. When I was in Vegas after the Katrina stuff and I was miserable and depressed, basically, all I had was wrestling, playing video games with wrestling. Like I had it all. So wrestling was always the constant for me in my life, especially when things weren't going the way that I kind of thought they would, even as I got older.
Sure. Did you start training out in Vegas?
So I was going to up in Henderson for the Ballard brothers or something like that. It didn't work out at the time because we moved from Henderson to North Las Vegas and then up to Centennial. But I didn't start training until 2011 in Austin, no less, by Mr. Mexico #2, who was somewhat of a enhancement talent in the California Indies, but man, was he so on point with his basics and his mindset of it. But I wish I started earlier, but I guess it just all works out how it does.
It all works out 100%.
Right.
Yeah, it's so funny just watching people's like journey to kind of getting where they're going. And like, what jobs did you do to kind of keep yourself afloat? What did you do?
If I had a resume, you'd be like, what is this? It's like 10 pages long.
Yeah.
So I had so many jobs that ranged from working at Nike. My first job was working at Office Max. I did like bill collection. So I knew what hospitals, that was the good part though. I knew what hospitals did not send your stuff to get credit checked.
Oh, that's nice.
To the collection agent. Yeah. So I would just go to those hospitals. I used to work at Gucci, no less.
Of course you did.
Boutique stuff.
Did they give a good discount? What the discount at Gucci?
The discount was like 25 or 30%. But it was so much that I couldn't afford it either way.
Totally. I guess I'll have the money clip which is probably like $800 either way.
Yeah. Well, a keychain was like 300, just a regular keychain.
But I don't care how rich you are. That's a ridiculous thing to buy.
It is.
Like, there's nothing else you want to spend $300 on. Like, I need to have this keychain. Like, let's get a life here.
I don't know, Renee. I actually thought about buying a $500 like wallet, and it was just a basic lambskin wallet. I said, why would I? That's so dumb. But it crossed my mind.
Have you done a stupid purchase like that?
Not yet. I'm waiting. I don't know what it'll be, but I'm waiting. I know it's gonna
just get ready for like the guilt that hits you afterwards. You're like, why the fuck did I just do that? Did I really need that? I've done that a few times and it's so stupid. And I would never even tell John what it was on because he'd be like, are you crazy?
I feel like that ordering Uber Eats when the place was literally down the street from me, like $50 small hamburger that was $8. That makes no sense.
That is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so you get into the wrestling world. We'll get into the AEW stuff in a second, but I want to make a little pit stop at NWA because I am dying to know. This always fascinates me. What the hell is it like working with Billy Corgan?
It's very interesting. I'll tell you that. Billy is a very interesting person. Just because he doesn't really talk to you. The only time he ever talked to me was it was like we're we're tearing down after a show, and I was at the merch table when he came over and talked to me. And I'll never forget. He goes, you're kind of like me in a way. He goes, you're an asshole, but people like you. People like us because we're assholes and we're funny. And he like told this story how he basically called out this girl at a show of his, but his delivery of it was so funny that the crowd laughed. They didn't question it. So that was the only time we ever had like an in-depth conversation where he just was like, yeah, you're like me. You're an asshole, but you're funny. And I think we're going to go far. I was like, hell yeah, man. I like that. Never thought that, but
just when it like pops, like, I feel like that just like pops in my head sometimes. I'm like, Billy Corgan owns NWA. Like, what is that creative process like? What is he like? I've never met him. I've like seen him in passing at shows and whatnot, but like, it blows my mind that is a thing that happens in the world of wrestling.
He's a huge germaphobe, so he won't shake your hand. But yeah, very
like Howie Mandel. Howie Mandel's like that too. Like very
just very like that. Like you come up to him, like, okay.
Elbow bump, fist bump.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Or he does like a air high five.
Well, you know what? In the world of COVID, he's already ahead of the curve. So we'll give him that.
Yeah, he was pretty much in the future at that point.
He's thriving during this, I bet.
Other than that, though, he is a very, like, if you needed something from him, he does talk to you, and he will communicate in that sense. But on the surface of things, he just kind of sticks to himself unless you're in that little circle of his.
How different is that going from working with somebody like Billy Corgan that like you don't necessarily have that relationship with to now being with somebody like Tony, who's like, you can reach him at all times. He's always there hanging out. Like he's so accessible to people that it's nice to be able to like pitch your creative, to like really get a read on him as a person. I find that really rare.
The thing with Tony is I still operate as if I'm not supposed to be, like, he's not supposed to be so accessible to me. You know what I'm saying? I think what it is, I've heard stories of how Vince is, and I've heard stories of how these other CEOs are. And it's kind of been tapped into my brain. And that's how I approach Tony, under the pretense that that's how he is. And it isn't. So there's times where I go up to him and say, hey man, I'm sorry to bother you. He goes, you're not bothering me. You're not bothering me. It's fine. You're not bothering me. I said, oh, okay. And I'm still trying to figure out the boundaries there. Just because I'm so in my head how I think a CEO is. It's not the case with Tony, but I do enjoy it.
It's almost like, and I mean, I don't work for him, so I don't feel that way, but I just have like a friendship with him. But it's like, I feel like with somebody that's in a position like that, it's like, am I taking up too much of your time at this point because you're making yourself so available? Like, am I taking advantage of the fact that I can have this time with you?
I feel the same.
Yeah. Because I feel like, and I don't know if it is like that at AEW, but I don't know if like other people are kind of like standing around being like, hey, Ricky, you've been talking to him long enough. Like, let me in there so that I can get my in there as well. Like, get out of there.
I haven't come across that. I know there's people who like make jokes because they call us, there's a group of us they call the White House. But
who's in the White House?
Who's in the White House?
Yeah.
See, you got me pulling back the curtain here.
That's what we do here.
In the White House, it's me, Britt, JB, Max.
Okay.
Those are like the four, right?
Okay.
And so the joke is they call us the White House because we don't get shit done. We seem to make it worse for ourselves. you can't count on us to get something like to get something approved, basically. Like don't ask us to pitch anything because it probably won't go the way we want it to.
Why is that? Like, what do you mean? Like you're not good at the pitch, or you get like
Not
distracted? What happens?
terrible at the pitch, terrible at pitching anything, terrible at even just bringing up ideas. I could tell you, hey, I'm thinking about opening an ice cream shop. And by the end of it, you go, yeah, I think I should take this idea and get somebody else to open an ice cream shop. You go, well, hold on. That's not what I was trying to say, but all right, we'll do it.
There's a real art to that. Like I find anytime I pitch to anything, I mean, whether it was at WWE or to other networks or something, I'm like, I instantly have in my head of like, not like a, I'm not worthy, but just like, am I going to start rambling or like, why are we doing this
again? That's how I feel. Halfway through in my head, it goes, yo, this is a stupid idea. And I go, you know what? Don't worry about it. Then
you're right.
I just walk off. Yeah. So, but we don't even pitch things. We just, people see us talking to Tony and I think they get like an idea and they go, oh God. I was like, bro, if you even knew what we were talking about, we're talking about Curb Your Enthusiasm. We're talking about freaking Bon Jovi. Like,
hell yeah. Oh, John Bon. I was getting my nails done the other day and this a Bon Jovi song came on, but it was like something newer because he looked old in it. And the girl working at the thing was like, who is this old white guy playing guitar? Can we change this? I was like, you better put some respect on his name. That's John Bon. Back it up.
Karaoke. I guarantee it.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows Living on a Prayer. Cue it up. We're ready to go.
That's the song you end a karaoke night on. Always.
Oh. Okay, so you're at AEW, you get the call in to come and challenge Cody for the TV title.
Yeah.
Did you know at that point, did you know before that match that you were going to get signed?
No, here's the weird thing. So Cody did a promo Wednesday night about how he was going to have an open challenge. Mm-hmm. Then on Twitter, he said, yeah, this is open to everybody. Literally Thursday, I was at the gym and I had this vision of me walking out, cutting this promo on him, doing this match, etc. And I had the same vision again on Friday. On Sunday, I got a text from someone at AEW asking if I wanted to have this match. I was like, hell yeah. At this point, I did not resign. I didn't re-sign with NWA. Mm-hmm. The way that they were going, I didn't want to be a part of it. And it didn't really fit with what I had in my mind. And keep in mind, at this point, when I got the text from AEW, I never reached out to them to try to get on. I stopped by in Austin when they came for a show just to see my friends. I wasn't trying to get a job or anything because I wanted to do it on my own merit. I didn't want, that's how my whole career has been. I've done everything myself and I like that. And so I got that text, got the ticket, flew in on a Tuesday. We filmed something that early Wednesday that was going to be used for like B-roll stuff. Mm-hmm. But as we're doing the promo, like it's an interview essentially. As we're doing it, the guy, Dylan, said, dude, this is so good. And he chopped it up and made a quick promo package that he showed Tony. Tony was like, oh yeah, let's put it up there. Otherwise, I wasn't going to have a promo before I came out. When I tell you I got the promo and then I saw my entrance and then I started the theme song, I've never experienced that before, ever. Mm-hmm. And the match was great. I loved it. And I literally went home that day thinking, okay, so now I can raise my price on the indies and be good. And then eventually, once the pandemic is over, AEW will see like, oh, this dude's pretty popular. Let's reach out to him. That's how I had it. Obviously, it didn't go that way at the end, which is great. But so weird to think about that. I essentially manifested it all the way through.
I love your whole thing about manifestation because it seems like you just make shit happen. I don't know if you just have horseshoes up your ass or like what is going on, but like you like what is that? Have you just been like a lucky, and not daunted to discredit obviously the work that you're putting in, but like you just shit seems like it works out for you the way that it is supposed to.
You know what I think it is? I've been through a lot in terms of sacrifices for wrestling, right? I'm not about to romanticize sleeping in my car or, moving to St. Louis and that not working out. That has all happened to me, but that is because that's what I thought I needed to do to make it to where I wanted to go. At a certain point, I stopped being so sad about it. I said, okay, well, things will just work out. That's my motto. Things will just work itself out. So when I didn't have money, right? I remember going through my shoebox and finding $150 just in there. I was like, oh, what? At a
That's
certain point,
crazy.
yeah, at a certain point, it's not a coincidence anymore. It's all about how I perceived myself in life and how I didn't really let the negatives take over. And I have constantly and been in so many situations. Most recently, when I wrestled Cody, I had maybe like, I can't remember the amount now. It's like, I want to say $3, but it wasn't $3. It was a little bit more than that, but it was under $10 when I wrestled Cody for sure. And I had just basically moved out of my friend's couch and got an apartment, not knowing how I was going to pay the next month's rent. So like, it may seem like I don't know what I'm doing next, but I do somehow, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's like, I mean, I guess it's like a combination of sort of like having faith in yourself, and you are putting in the work. Obviously, like you're grinding away and you have been for a long time. So it's not just like, I just fell into this random thing. It's not that. You're setting yourself up for these situations, and then you're prepared for them once that opportunity is there. For you to
Right.
like seize that moment and like really make that happen. It's just funny like how stuff like that works out for certain people. And I feel like looking at you, you seem like one of those people that is at the very brink of like shit about to blow up. Like I feel like you have so much stuff in front of you that you don't even know about yet, which is so
I
exciting. Do you feel that? Do you feel like that energy?
every day I wake up and I promise you, Renee, I feel like there's this like weird glow, this weird feeling of like, oh, a new adventure is about to start, a new adventure is about to start.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I wake up every day with that. And I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. Some days I wake up and I'm like aggravated or mad, but I still have that. And I don't know, you're the second person. My mom said the same thing literally last week about
Me and your
this.
mom know. Me and your mom are
Yeah,
synced up.
I feel like you're in the bloodline. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know what's on the horizon. I can't predict it, but all I can do is write down my affirmations. I write down the things that I want to manifest. Essentially, I write down in my journal, I go, I am happy and grateful now that. So I'm writing it as if it's already happened, as opposed to, I want this. So
Yeah.
let's say I said, I am happy and grateful now that I was able to buy my mom a house, what I'm saying, or
Yep.
things like that. And that helps me. I like doing that. And I still maintain the course. I still do everything that I should, all the work,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I guess that's the secret. Someone told me, oh yeah, that's what the secret is about. But I read it.
Oh yeah. Which
Read
is
it.
funny because I always think of Ryback being like the big, like the secret guy. And he destroyed you one time on TV. I remember.
Oh, no. You know,
Where
it's great.
where was that? What TV taping was that? Like what city were we in?
I saw you at this. This is when you had longer hair though, and this is when
The
you were
fun
starting.
extension days, girl.
Oh, that was the extension. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
come on.
I have an elephant memory. You had like a leather
I'm like
jacket.
that too.
It
Sounds
wasn't
right.
distressed yet. It was just a regular leather jacket. I think you
No
were just getting
fringe.
the money.
I
But
hadn't elevated to the fringe at that point. I wasn't at fringe level. I'm at fringe level now. I should wear fringe jackets on this. It's just hot in this
hey,
room.
watch Wednesday. I'm gonna have a nice one. But
Ooh.
that took place in Laredo at the Energy Center.
Mm.
And the funny thing about that is my car overheated right as I pulled in, to the point where the valve cover popped off, to where where you pour the
Yeah.
coolant,
Yeah.
popped off right as I pulled in. And I said, well, I'm just stressed here.
Yeah.
And we did that. That happened 3 times. I got slapped in the face 3 times. He never told me he was going to slap me. So when you see me like tense up. That's me being legit. Because initially I was like trying to cry, and Michael Hayes came in and goes, "You ain't gonna cry like that, would you, in a real fight, would you?" I said, "Hell no, you're right. I'd blow up to a motherfucker." But it was great. Ryan was cool. I really enjoyed it. They paid for my shirt that he ripped up.
That's nice.
Really, really good time. I felt like I remember walking to the back, and Miz and Punk was like, "Oh, good job on that whole segment, et cetera, et cetera." And that was the end of it. Just, going.
Those are two guys that don't just dole out compliments.
That's
so
what I heard.
Good. Yeah.
I
mean, Miz gives credit when credit is due, and so does Punk. But like, yeah, for them to like take time to do that, people see something in you right off the bat.
It was really nice of them. I really enjoyed it. The funny thing is that on YouTube, that video is constantly on the recommended.
So, hey, you want a reminder of this?
Yeah, I don't know if it's YouTube trying to play a joke on me with the algorithm.
You're being trolled.
Right. I think I'm getting trolled hard because everyone.
I get that a lot with the Maurice slap when she slapped me in the face. And it's everywhere. I'm like, yeah, I know. She rocked my ass. And same thing. I mean, I've not been slapped in the face as an adult.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wouldn't know how to prepare for that.
No, you can't. And what sucked for that for me was we had pre-taped it. So I'm like pretending I'm talking to a producer and blah, blah, blah. And she walks up behind me. But I was so like nervous and stressed for her to strike me in the face. Every time she got up to me, I'm like, here we can go. And I would go to turn around. They're like, cut, lighting, cut, mics are out. I'm like, just get it over with. And by the time she actually hit me, I was like, all right, I had already over tensed myself waiting for her to actually hit me. It was a doozy.
My God.
Yeah, it's terrible. But so when you came to WWE, you got to work with Jinder Mahal, Kane, there was somebody else too. Did I miss somebody other than Ryback?
Let me see. It was, so Jinder, Kane, Ryback, FTR.
FTR, yes.
And I think that's it. I think that was, I wrote them down.
What is like the experience coming into WWE as an extra? What is that?
So I'm talking about when I was first, like when I was like brand new into the business, because when I was brand new into the business and getting the call, I was like, oh, this is how I get hired. And it's a great feeling. You go there. Honestly, that's how I learned the most. I sat up on Raw days. I sat up in the crowd with Regal while they're testing the music. I'm sure you remember that. Yep. And hear tell me these stories and me asking questions. And I'm a very observant person. So sometimes I just sit back and I just watch. Like I just watch everything. And it was great. It was an awesome time. But I think for me at a certain point, I got tired of it because I felt like there was a ceiling that I just kept hitting every time I came. It's like, well, if y'all didn't care for me after the 17th time, right? How is this, 30th time going to be any different?
Totally. Yeah.
But I try to find a positive out of it.
And you get that experience under your belt that at least you know what it's like to like, even just to see like what a TV day looks like, to like see the crew setting up the ring and to see people going over their matches and people getting their scripts and like figuring out just sort of how the entire production works. Like that alone is pretty invaluable.
The whole setup though to it, every time I went, I was still in awe, and I can't explain to you why. I've seen it a million times, but just see so many people run about to change out the mats, or even, during commercial too, it's insane.
Yeah.
But just a very crazy setting to watch when you walk into that arena part and see the normal lighting and things like that, and the stage and whatnot. It was fun.
You can't help but respect that, of just like everyone has their job and there's a million people running around. So it takes all these people to get the show up and running and to get us on TV and see what happens and hope that the show is ready by 8 p.m. There's so many times that I would like run out to the desk and I'm like, okay, I got here, as we're like about to go live, like sprinting out. I remember like running out doing a pre-show one time and like the crowd like popped because they're like, you made it in time. Like by the skin of my teeth. What do you want to do in wrestling? How do you see your career going as you're manifesting these things? What's kind of on your vision board for how you see things going in the next like 5 years?
My goal is to essentially be the wrestler that I wish I had when I was younger, right? in terms of, I don't really think there's someone that looks like me on TV right now,
No.
or I don't think there's anyone that can represent, uh, a multiracial guy from New Orleans who literally just came out of obscurity in a sense. So I want to be that because that's what I wish I had when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be the person to take wrestling out of this bubble. And because wrestling is all cyclical, and I feel like we are on the that turnabout where we're going to hit a peak. And I really want to be that person to lead the charge of it being popular, not being so corny or being so, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And then
there's like that stigma that comes with wrestling. And as you said, it's cyclical of it kind of shaking that off. And all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, wrestling fucking rules.
right.
To like it getting back to that point. And you're right. It is getting into like that sweet spot again.
Yeah. And I want to be responsible for that. I want to be responsible for the emotional part of you watching. I feel like we're kind of desensitized when we watch wrestling nowadays. Guy does this, he does that. You go, oh, okay. But I want to bring that emotional part into it. And so I want to be that guy. I want to make the company a lot of money. I want to have a lasting legacy that people can look back, especially my family and my kids, thinking, so damn, he did a lot, you know what I'm saying? Even the small things, and then go off and then go do movies and rest up my body.
Oh, right. Get rid of that bump card.
Please.
Put me on that movie set. Get me in my movie trailer, please.
Yeah, please just pan all day. But that's ultimately what I want to do, and things change along that road, and I know it, and I'm fine with that. I'm all about be like water, you know what I'm saying? Be like
fluid,
water,
baby.
Yeah.
Do you have any mentors? Has anyone taken you under their wing yet?
No, I wish. No, for real. I would have loved that. I'm pretty much a self-taught type of person. Mm-hmm. There's people right now though that I talk to that I feel like help me out and guiding me. Eddie is definitely one of them for sure. Eddie is a great guy because we have similar backgrounds in a sense, and also personalities too. We're both hot-headed, very emotional guys. So, I have that. And then you have people like, I talked to Cody a bit. Cody's great. I actually talked to John. John was the one that told me about one night randomly. John talked to me for a very long time about.
Sometimes you get cornered like that with him. Every now and then.
I loved it. He didn't treat me any different. He just talked to me like a straight dude. And he basically set me up to get a house, to get investments, to stop doing this renting with the partner, and just, take control of my life in terms of being financially stable. And it meant a lot. I don't know if he remembers it, but
he really is like the king of that. And I feel like he checks me on that sometimes too. The other day we were like walking into like Target and his like shoes have holes in them. I'm like, dude, or we were working to like Lowe's, not that it matters. But I was like, dude, you're like the worst rich guy. He goes, that's how I stay rich, baby. And I was like, well, can't argue that.
He's a great. But from that conversation though, I feel like that door has been open now. So if I ever need to ask him for something, I don't think he would ever.
Oh my God, of course.
So
no, it's funny because I feel like people always think that he's kind of unapproachable. And I know that he makes himself that way. And I don't even think that he does it cognizantly. He doesn't because sometimes I'm like, dude, you make it so hard for people to talk to you sometimes. And he's like, how? What are you talking about? Like he doesn't get that he's like that sometimes. But then once he has that relationship with people and that rapport, he loves it.
Yeah.
He's all about it. So
I get it. Honestly, I get it. If there ain't nothing to talk about, why even try? I hate small talk. So don't even approach me with it. And that's how he is backstage. If there ain't nothing to talk about, he keeps it moving.
Yeah. I wish that I could take a page out of his book because he conserves his energy for the shit that he needs it for, where I waste my energy all motherfucking day. Who wants to talk? Who needs what? I'm here for everybody. Where like I get burnt out sometimes. And he's like, well, why are you doing that? Why are you on social media then? Why are you having these conversations? I'm like, I don't know. I think people just assume that from me. I wish I could be like that. It's a skill.
Honestly, my wife has to have the same attributes that John has. And I know that sounds weird, but I need someone to level me out, because I feel like you and I are kind of the same, where it's like, hello, I can't just not talk to somebody.
Yeah, sometimes I have to like push him in front of me. Can you like deal with this? Can you shut this down? Because I'm not. I don't want to say like I'm bad at saying no. That is the thing I'm like learning, of like not
Right.
just like agreeing to do things, or like, whatever, expending energy when I don't need to. But that is like something you need to learn to do. You need someone to step in.
I am literally, oh my God,
We're all the
I'm
same.
learning the same thing. This was my resolution for the new year. I've started to tell people, hey, Ricky, if you really don't want to do it, just tell them no. And
Yes.
I say, I don't want to go out. I don't want to do that.
Yes.
And it's so good. It's such
Isn't
good.
it such a relief to do that? My mom just sent me a book called like The Power of Saying No. And I'm like, I do need to sit and read through this, because it's powerful to go, I don't want to do this. And no one even gives a shit. But you think that people are going to care, but they don't care.
And also, too, it's my choice to not want to go to a store or a bar with you, or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
If I'm saying no for a reason. I don't have to give you an explanation. I just don't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No means no.
Right.
Okay. So you mentioned your future wife.
Yeah.
What do you look for in a woman? Are you dating? What is happening in your love life? Because I feel like you have a lot to offer and we need to get it out there to the world.
So I don't know if I'm dating. Like, I've gone on dates with pedestrians, but
Yeah.
not, for people who are watching, I call people outside of,
Civilians, pedestrians. Yeah.
yeah,
Not in the
exactly.
business.
Yeah.
Because people
No,
that aren't in the business don't understand this wacko carny life.
right. And it's very hard on relationships
Of
too.
course. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm definitely am open to dating. I mean, I haven't had much luck of anything in terms of getting continuous dates. You know what I'm saying?
You're
But
not getting the call back.
no,
Yeah,
not,
right.
not even a callback. It's more of a I'm losing interest halfway through, I feel
Shut
like.
up. What? How? Who are these people? What do they want from you?
I think it is they want someone who isn't so comfortable up front. Maybe
Okay.
that's how I am. I'm just comfortable with people. I can meet you the first time. I can get comfortable.
Yeah.
That's how I am. So I think that's kind of a turnoff, especially, I don't know, maybe because they just aren't used to it. But
Or is it sort of, do they think when you come in there and you're so comfortable, they're like, oh, he's one of those guys? Do they think that you're just like a player and you're like kind of dating all these people? Like they think that you're just that
maybe,
guy.
maybe, I mean, I've had women say, "Oh, you
Smooth
definitely."
talker.
It's like, well, first off, chick, I don't want to just be going on dates with all these people. That's a lot of time I have to
Yeah.
expend. Man. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. That's
But
interesting.
I look for, I want, you know what? A big thing on my list is a girl who's funny.
Hmm.
Like, I laugh at my own jokes, but if you can make me laugh, then we're
We're
already pretty
golden.
sailing. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you go
And
on like dating apps?
I did the Tinder and the Bumble thing, but it is a blow to your self-esteem when you.
Okay.
Uh,
Can you see when people pass on you?
I can't see because I haven't paid for it. I just do the free,
Okay.
the free version. But when you don't get any matches, then you're like, what's going on here? So I go through and delete them, and then
Yeah.
I'm way better about myself, because
Right.
like, what is that?
That's true. That would be a blow to the ego if you're like, why is my phone not blowing up? What the hell?
Right. That's straight up with you. There's times where some of my grievances are all ego based, right? It's like,
Mhm.
well, why doesn't that person want me? Like, look at me. I
Mhm.
feel like every person should be like that, by the
Of
way.
course. Yeah.
But
Set the bar.
yeah, my bar's high. Like,
Yeah.
some people call me picky. I'm not picky. I've I've been single for a bit now, so I know what I want, and I'm not about to settle for less than that.
Have you been in like a long-term relationship?
What's okay? So what's long term to you? What's the definition of long term?
I mean, I would say like a year plus.
Ooh,
So no.
I'm short of that cutoff date. Yeah.
Okay.
You know
Okay.
why? It's because I put so much focus into wrestling. And
Mhm.
this is my philosophy, right? My philosophy is, if I put 100% into wrestling, I cannot give you 100% as far as attention goes. That is
Yeah.
unfair to the person. It's not going to be equal. So I would rather get my footing right first and then be able to go, hey, I got my stuff together. Let me see if I can find someone who has their stuff together, and let's converge and let's see what happens.
Well, I think it's also sort of that thing of like, you're like what we were talking about earlier. It's like you're already hustling, doing your thing. When the right thing comes along, it just comes along. I mean, that's what happened with John. I had been in relationships prior to being with John. And as soon as we met, we had no say in the matter. It was just like, oh, I guess I'll see you at the grave. We're in this till the end. Yeah. Yeah, like that was just how it went. And neither of us were seeking it out. It just kind of happened. He like fell into my lap, kind of. So
And that's how I think about it now too. So I don't really go out looking to find somebody. I just stay in my lane. It's like, well, whatever person I attract to me as far as what my energy gives off, then that's fine. Then we'll assess it from there and see if it works. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm not about to go out and just constantly like, oh my God, I can't find a chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find anyone, because that's not
Hell
fun.
no.
Right.
Did Bailey ever tell you about the time that I thought that you guys were dating and I got so excited?
Is it from an Instagram post? Because she has gotten that once or twice.
She texted it to me and I was like, wait, what? Because I did not know I wasn't familiar with you and Aaron Solo having been tag teams. I didn't know that it was like this intricate relationship. And I was like, are you dating Ricky Starks? She was like, no, he's like my brother. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Yeah. I was like, he seems so fucking great. Because it was shortly after we had hung out in Jacksonville and we were playing the beer pong.
Oh my God. Yeah. Flip cup.
Flip cup. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a great time.
It was a great time.
We were partners. We were on the same team.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. I feel like we actually had a pretty solid team. We were kind of crushing it.
We were really good on the flip cup. Like really good.
We don't mess around on our team. Stay on our side of the line. We're good to go. But yeah, I remember Pam being like, anyways, that got blown out of the water real quick. She was like,
she's gotten that before though, because
I'm sure
for her, like the happy birthday post that she does on Instagram.
Right. Yeah.
People just assume.
Was it just your birthday?
Yeah, February 21st.
Oh, what'd you do for your birthday?
Oh my God, what did I do? I didn't do anything for my birthday. I don't think. I mean, I went to Disney World. Yeah, I went to Disney World a week after with a really close group of my friends, but that was really it. Damn, I can't remember. Yeah. Well, hey, whatever. Next year.
Next year we'll get Flip Cup back. We're ready to go. We'll shut it down.
You know why too? Because next year, by then, I'll probably have met my wife, my future wife, Zendaya from Euphoria.
Oh my God, what a dream she is.
All right.
Is there a more beautiful woman?
I haven't met her.
I would say Zoe Kravitz might fall in. I could see you with like a Zoe Kravitz type too. Oh my God, could you imagine how beautiful your children would be? Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent.
I know.
All right, give it to me.
Let me ask you this. Do you think me and Zendaya would be a perfect couple?
I love it. I think it's great. She just seems like she's cool and low key. She's funny. Stylish. She's very funny. People forget she's funny because she's so pretty.
I know. If you would have seen her Instagram videos where she's being a goofball.
I remember those. Yeah. She's really funny.
Yeah. That's where that fell in. You know what I'm saying?
Write it on your vision board. Get her on there.
I did. I did.
Come on, Zendaya. Yeah, she is like, she's truly on another level in terms of beauty. In Euphoria, she's spectacular.
Amazing.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Yeah, she makes a great crackhead. Who would know?
Yeah. I'm going to that's in my manifestation of appearing on the show. That's how I get in. I get on the show my other side of acting, right? Chat her up a bit. Hey, how are you? I do wrestling. I know that I don't know if you want to go to the show. Here's some tickets. And then walk away. That's it.
And then you cut a sick promo, have a great match. And she was like, oh, word.
Right. She goes, all these people cheering for this guy? Okay.
Exactly.
I'm in.
Yeah. If that doesn't give you a lady boner, I don't know what to tell you, sister. That'll do it.
Yeah.
I love where this is headed. Zendaya, you heard it here first on Oral Sessions. You're going to be Mrs. Starks. By the way, I've got two more things. One thing, I was very thrilled to find out that your name is actually Richard Starks. Did you ever think that you need, like, did you ever think like, oh, I should have like a different wrestling name or like a different like in-ring name?
No, it's never crossed my mind. It's never crossed my mind. I don't know why. Because
such a good name.
It sounded like you know how the superhero have their real names and all that?
Yes. Yeah.
Basically that.
Yeah, that's it. Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
I like went in your Wikipedia. I'm like, oh, he's actually Richard Starks. That's great.
Some of the information though on there is kind of wrong. Like someone said I was trained by Booker T. And it's like, no, I was never. I thought they fixed it. But
well, I'm glad I didn't bring that up.
Thank you.
I assume everyone, especially because you're in Texas, I would have assumed that you've either been with like Booker or Mark Henry. I mean, I know that you've had a bit of a relationship with Undertaker through being, I mean, you're wearing your On It shirt now, but through On It.
Yeah.
On It stuff's so good, by the way. I love their shit.
It's a great place. It's a great place to train. It was a great place for me because that's where I met Taker. I really, really enjoy that place. I haven't been in a while though, just because it's so far south of where I live at, and you know, with work.
Traffic's gnarly.
Yeah, it's, oh my God, it's the worst. It's literally the worst.
Gotta have a good podcast queued up. Guys, you can listen to Oral Sessions everywhere you listen to podcasts. Your fashion.
I love that.
You are quite the fashionable man. Who do you look to? How important is appearance to you? Because you always seem like you're running a tight fashion ship.
Well, I've always liked fashion for whatever reason. I just like looking good. And I like expressing myself in terms of the clothes that I wear. And so I'm trying to think of people that I actually look to for fashion advice. There's people like Tom Ford that I like. Believe it or not, Gucci has some really nice men's outfits in terms of the pants or like a jacket.
Yeah.
Alexander Wang.
Oh yeah.
Who else? Yeah, those are the main people. And honestly, I just go through, I have like a Tumblr and I have a Pinterest, right? And sometimes whatever is curated on that main page, I'll just scroll through and I just get ideas from other people who have done similar styles, especially when I went to Japan and I went to the Shibuya, which is like the Times Square.
Yeah.
People had great fashion. Like,
is that near where Harajuku is?
Yes.
It is, right? Yeah.
Very close. I love that place too.
Yeah.
But people had great fashion sense there. And I was just so in awe. Just people get off the train, just dressed to the nines. Like, so this is your everyday outfit? Like, damn, look at me in just some, I don't know, Lululemon shorts and an On It shirt, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's something that I really miss during all of this COVID-ness is like, because there's times I'm like, oh, I should put on a cute outfit. And I'm like, what's the point? I'm not going anywhere. But like, yeah, you miss some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Bring that fashion back to it.
You know what? I'm trying to bring fashion back into wrestling. We don't need to just have people come out in their shirts and some true jeans. We just, hey, spice it up. Spice it up.
We don't need your thick stitched jeans. Yeah. I mean, you always get that Rock comparison.
Yeah, that's so crazy though, because the Rock comparison is like, yo, Rock wasn't the only person who dressed nice. Like, I get that we kind of look alike, but
well, people always just have to draw some kind of parallel all the time to be like, oh, they want to put you in a box. If he's like this guy or he's like this or whatever, obviously not bad company to be in with The Rock, but
at all.
Yeah.
Did you ever get that? Did you ever get parallels drawn?
All the time. I get ones from like, I've always gotten Kirsten Dunst since I was like little, from like when she did like the Virgin Suicides. People are like, oh, you're Kirsten Dunst. I get Kristen Bell a lot.
Wait, what's the difference
between who? Kristen Bell and
I'm sorry. Dunst? This is about to really expose me. But in my head, they're the same people. Like when I'm seeing Kristen Dunst, and so Bring It On. Who is in that?
That's Kirsten Dunst.
Okay. Who's So
And Kristen Bell does like the voice in Frozen. She's got
she was on the CW show.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
never mind. I knew the difference.
But I mean, you know, same. I mean, I feel like I get a bunch of different ones all the time of like, even just like personality wise of like a Kelly Ripa. There's always like that kind. It's always some other blonde lady. Me and I'm like white blonde woman number 18. Same shit. Who else do you get?
I get The Rock. I get Bruno Mars.
Yes.
I used to get
I feel like Bruno Mars with the fashion too.
Yeah, but I actually don't care for Bruno Mars. So it's every time I hear it, I go, ugh.
Too short.
Yeah, just something about it I don't like. I think it's the pompadour hairstyle.
Okay.
You know who else? Mark Wahlberg, actually. When I had shorter, I got yeah. And then I got in Cena quite a bit when I had really short hair, like almost close to like a buzz.
That's really funny. I mean, you put Cena and Mark Wahlberg in the exact same box too, looks wise.
If you think about it, all the people I've been compared to are people with huge heads and very, very big. Though
that is like a thing, because anytime you see like really famous people, they have large heads.
Huge, large heads.
Something to that.
Large nose or lips, or just a big forehead. The whole 9 yards.
It's the look that just like reads beautifully on camera. It works.
I'm thankful. Honestly, I'm thankful for that, because if I was ugly, I definitely wouldn't have had a career.
You'd have to work a hell of a lot harder. You'd still be in St. Louis in your car. Who knows?
Yeah. You ain't kidding.
All right, Ricky, I'll let you get back to your day. I really enjoyed having you on the show. It was a lot of fun hanging out with you. Send my best to DDP. Go get your yoga on. And next year for your birthday, me, John, you, and Zendaya will hang out and play Flip Cup.
I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm
ready
to that. That's the best thing anyone's ever said they want to do for me for my birthday. I'm with it.
I've got you covered all day.